10:33 p.m. in the East, streaming live on Pride48.com. It's time for The Mix. My name is Daniel Brewer. I do not do this show alone. I do it with my best friend, Adam Burns. Adam, how are you this evening?
Apparently I'm sad and snippy. And,
I'm doing excellent. Thank you for asking.
Things.
However, Adam, I need to address something right off the top. Right off the top of the show, I need to get something off my chest. There should never be a one-shot. No more one-shots ever in this video. If you do another one-shot, I'm going to take the video from Zoom and just make another whole video of just you, because we agree we're a pair, we're partnered, and it's like we should both be on the screen. Maybe we should be there with the chat room, maybe not. It doesn't matter. But there's no reason to hide yourself there's no reason for a one shot. You left me last video. You left me hanging out, talking to an imaginary voice for 7 minutes.
Oh, wow. You counted.
Minutes. What do you mean I counted? It's a video. It has a counter. I slid over to see when the first two shot hit. 7 minutes in, Adam. 7 minutes. Unacceptable. No more.
In my defense,
I
forgot to switch. It wasn't on it wasn't malicious.
I didn't say it was malicious.
And I don't have the fancy version of this that records every track separately, so I couldn't go back and edit it or something. I only have what was streamed to YouTube. That's all I got.
I know.
And I didn't notice until 7 minutes in. I was like, well, fuck, can't do anything about that. I'm
just
sorry.
saying. There's no reason. We don't need the one shot. And then it won't ever happen again. And then the worst that would happen is you'd forget that not put the chat room in the screen or something like that. But it's like we need to both be on the screen. We need to both be able to take. There are a certain number of people that watch us that think that I am incredibly hideous looking and that you're the one to watch. And then there's another smaller subset of people that think that you're the hideous one and I'm the one to watch. And you can't do. Adam, look at the numbers. Last week's episode where you left me sitting on a one shot for 7 minutes. Last week's episode has like 22 views. The week before, when you streamed accidentally, the chair in your office has 47 views. So 47 people watched your chair in the office, but only 21 people watched last week's YouTube
maybe
version
I
of
should
our show.
just stream a static shot of the chair for the whole show.
It should.
And see how many viewers we get, because I think
I'm just going to make that. It's going to be our thumbnail. Our thumbnail on YouTube next week is going to be an empty office, and it's like he's back.
Because there were a couple. Well, I think Auntie Scott was the only one. It seems like more, but Auntie Scott has such a presence.
No. Auntie Scott commented in the Pride 48 Discord server, but I'm a librarian, had already commented in the Level 13 Discord. So it's like there were multiple people who saw this. And
well, he was saying he kept going back because he wondered when somebody was going to show up. And so he kept going back to it. All I can say is it was not my intention. But there was no one shot tonight. So far it has just been a two shot. So
excellent. Well, if you're a listener of our show and you want to see what we look like when we do this show, I invite you to go and check out the YouTube channel. I know we have hundreds of people that download the audio version, so I'm not like worried that we only have 20 YouTube viewers, whatever like that. We're like that's our entire audience. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, hey, if you want to check out our YouTube version of the show, just go over there, youtube.com/thegamemix, and you can see this whole shit. You can see 7 minutes of me just staring, talking, going, I mean, you hear Adam, but it might as well, it's like people are, is that a ventriloquist?
You never go. It's well, actually, Adam, let me just cut in there. I mean, that's more what it's like, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Adam, thousands upon thousands of people tune into this show each and every week for one reason only, and that is to hear about my running update. That's right. They want to hear how my fat ass is doing with training for my next run, which is a 10K coming up in November. I got a 5K before the 10K. I got a 5K on October 28th and then a 10K on November 4th. But then the big one that I signed up for is the 19.2 mile next April at Disney. So 19.2 miles. So that's the things I'm training. So as we last left this running update, I had done, I had bumped up to, I think, to 4 minutes. I was doing a 4-minute run and a 1.5-minute walk. I had to do my distance run last Sunday. And so last Sunday I ran, I want to say it was 4.5 miles. So I ran 4.5 miles last Sunday. This Sunday is just another 30-minute drill workout. And then next Sunday, I think I'm having to run 5.5 miles next Sunday. But I'm doing all those. I'm doing them easily. I really should probably up my intervals some because they are a little maybe too easy. I have committed that I am going to go back outside to run near the end of September, beginning of October. And I'm really, really hoping that my treadmill running is going to translate into street running and I haven't just lured myself into thinking that I can, look at me, I can do a 6-minute run. So yeah, hopefully.
I don't think, I'll say this again. I think the thing about treadmills is I find, and look, we all know I have bad knees. I'm not a big runner, but I have found, because there was a period in my life where I was jogging occasionally. And what I found was I would get much more tired outside because my pace tended to be too fast. And so I would tire out. So the hope is that having the treadmill set your pace will set your pace. But so that's what you're going to have to see is like, are you going to go back to like not keeping the right pace?
Right.
When you go outside.
And, I have the treadmill pitched at like a 2% grade, which now is that the Mount Epcot grade? Is what
is that what it's labeled as on the treadmill?
Mount Epcot. Yeah, I have it at that grade. Speaking of Taylor the Latte Boy, as you know, I put out a call far and wide for people that wanted to participate in the annual Pride 48 skit, the annual Pride 48 live streaming skit. We've done it almost every year. There's been very few years that we didn't do it. I know that we didn't do it in the at-home events for a while because we were also doing an in-person event and we did the skits there instead. But I believe every year we've done skits of some form. Maybe, I don't think the first year we did a skit.
Well, we didn't do skits the years that you were on hiatus.
Oh,
and I don't believe, and I don't know. No. And I don't believe we did a skit last year either.
Wow.
But so there have been years without skits, but yes, that tended to be a traditional thing.
Here was my idea. I'm thinking, all right, what am I going to write for this script? What's the premise that I'm going to write? And I was like, oh, I got it. Because a Pride 48 skit should be schlocky and, very, very tropey, right? It should be something very predictable, something very tropey. It's like, but it's supposed to be that way, right? It's just bad community theater. So I'm thinking, oh, great, multiverse is a big thing right now. So let's do a really schlocky multiverse thing. So what I'll do is I'll start with Adam and myself and Wes on the opening show, and and then we'll talk about how much Adam hates being in the skits. And then as he's talking, he like fades away and Adam disappears from existence. And it's all because Auntie Scott used the time machine that Wes and I had from Live It Up a long time ago, used the time machine to go and get a bagel. And he actually accidentally wiped you out of existence. And so now Wes and I have to go back in time to correct the problems of the universe to get you to come back to show back up in our reality. So that was the premise of it, right?
That was the premise. So that was the premise.
But that would
has the
require
premise
a lot of
changed?
people. I don't have any volunteers here.
Auntie Scott would do it. I would do it. You would do it. I'm sure Wes would do it.
I wanted to go back to a time. Yeah, Ricky. Oh, yeah, that was my thing.
Ricky.
We needed to keep the foul monkeys from saying something because at one point in time, I was just like, we would end up finding out that That's So Babalu is the only podcast still around because he bought up everybody else because he became so famous. And then we have to go back and discourage Babalu from ever doing a second episode.
I feel like you could also have Sassy in the skit because
that's super easy to do.
That's not sassy. That's not sassy. Sassy's much higher than that.
Well, I mean, I could do much higher than that, but that's where it was set, you know?
Anyway, so I don't know what I'm going to do now, Adam. I've got a week left, and I've got to toss something together here. Can't do a multiverse with...
another idea that just came to me, which I'm sure because even though we're best friends, we seem to have different taste in certain things and like TV shows.
You keep saying that like that's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
And also opposites attract, I've been told. Yeah. And also, I don't know what else I was going to say, but you disagree with me frequently.
But
the idea that just popped into my head is we're all afraid that we're going to be replaced by artificial intelligence. That's all I got so far. But something about AI replacing all the podcasts.
Or what we could do is pay that $30 to that website that lets you train voices and then just take a bunch of old podcasts, train it on different voices, and then we could have David That Blue Jeans guy and Ramble Redhead do some horrible thing to Anthony and Selmo, and then they all beat up Joey Boohecker, and then they can be all doing it be all AI.
I am currently paying for a website and I'm not even using it. It's $30 a month.
That's
and
what
I'm paying for it.
I'm
not using it. Like, I'm still paying for it.
Look,
so
Auntie Scott,
I can give you the login.
Auntie Scott in the chat room. Can you put the chat room up? Auntie Scott in the chat room says, problem is Daniel will have AI write it. I will have you know, Auntie Scott, I wrote the Mike's camera action. I wrote that promo without the use of AI. All I did afterwards was I sent it to ChatGPT and I said, hey, make this like a stereotypical country guy would have read it. And that's when it spit out the country one. And then I said, make it sound like a posh British person read it. And
do you mean this one?
Mike's Mixers Action. Mark your calendars because this September 15th to 17th, Pride 48 is the place to be. Join us for our grand finale and final annual live streaming podcasting event. Experience the vibrant colors of our community with an entire weekend of LGBTQ and LGBTQ-friendly podcasts from our stable of current shows. Some that you haven't heard in many years, and even a few brand new ones. It all kicks off at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, September 15th. More information can be found at our website, pride48.com.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Mm-hmm. So whatever you do, I'm sure it will be fantastic. You should use Ricky though for sure. He volunteered.
Trust me, I will use Ricky.
But Taffy would probably do it. She probably just doesn't know.
I'm not gonna. I have no place for Taffy in this. I have a place for Babalu.
There's no place for Taffy.
I have a place for Babalu, and I have a feeling Taffy would be like the Scarlet Witch version in the multiverse, where like she's a constant, like she's the same in every single reality. It's just like it's always Taffy. It's just always Taffy. Anyway, go ahead. I'm done with this. Go ahead. Tell me about, you seem to have something on your wrist, Adam.
I do. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can see that on the video. The vidya. Mm-hmm. It's not. I just wanted to revisit it because just really short and sweet. Because we talked about it. I can't remember if it was on the post show or if it was on the actual show. But we talked about, I had gotten envious of Mark's Apple Watch because he's like tapping his watch against things and paying and getting notifications and like able to listen to stuff while he's running without taking his phone or whatever the case may be. And I've shied away from smartwatches because the Android watches have been clunky. not really, you know, they just haven't been great, and I'm not in the Apple ecosystem. I mean, well, my phone is an Android phone. I do have an iPad and stuff, but I wanted to stick with Android for a watch if I got it. And there was also
sorry. I'm trying to.
Yes. There's also a problem because I don't want the health tracking.
Yes,
because
we know you don't want anyone to know. Go ahead.
No, it's not about anyone else. I am a hypochondriac,
right?
And if I had something constantly strapped to my wrist telling me my heart rate, and I go to the doctor, and my heart rate spikes so much when I go to the doctor because I'm afraid they're going to tell me something horrible, and then they're like, "Oh, your heart rate's a little high." White coat syndrome. But anyway, so I was like, all of the Android watches, no ability to turn off the tracking because basically they are meant to be health tracking
devices. Yes, exactly.
So I had looked and come to find out the Galaxy Watch will allow you to turn all that shit off.
All that shit.
All of it.
Yep.
Health tracking. It's got an ECG or EKG or something like that. I'm going to be like, clear, boom. No, I mean, I know that's not the same thing, but
that is not an electrocardiogram.
It's got
okay.
So anyway, I like the size, so I got it. So spoiler, I got the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic. Mm-hmm. The reason I got the Classic is because it's got this, it's got this
watch face
metal thing around the face, like a band thing, and I can't get this in but when you turn it, it actually changes. You can turn it.
So you don't have to smudge the screen with your fingers swiping.
You can also swipe. You can do both. So far, I've only worn it I only got it 2 days ago. I've worn it for a couple of days. I would say the battery life is not what I would love it to be because it seems to drain pretty quick. But I like the choice of faces. The apps on there are good so far.
Bezel, thank you, Bear.
The bezel, yes. Yes, the bezel. So yeah, I'm liking it. That was just my quick update. I wanted everyone to know, and I'm going to be playing around with other faces because I've just got like a classic watch face on there right now.
Yeah. I don't understand. I mean, it doesn't track your steps. It doesn't track, it's just a watch. All it does is tell the time.
It could, but I just flipped the switch on all of those. Maybe, maybe I'll go back because I'm okay with it tracking my steps, but I don't want it to really predict like, oh, he's exercising right now, because I feel like that one requires it to be taking blood pressure, heart rate, or things of that nature.
It's not,
so maybe it's not. Maybe it's so I don't know. There's some granular controls, so maybe I'll get comfortable with it. And
Here's the thing. The only things that they track that I give a shit about, right? Well, there's several things that they track, but here's the things that I care about. Tracks my steps, right? Because that's a rough approximation of distance. So it's important for me to know how far I've run. So tracking steps, good thing. It tracks my heart rate, which is a good thing because I want to be working in the cardio zone, which is 60 to 70% of my maximum heart rate. And so it will signal me when I'm in the correct cardio zone. And if I get outside of that zone by either going too fast or not going fast enough or, not working hard enough, it alerts me so that I know, say it vibrates one way or the other and lets me know it's like, oh, you've exceeded your heart rate, or you should slow down, right? It's not telling you you're going to die or whatever. It's just, anyway. So those are the things that I care about, right? Because I also care about the GPS on it because I love it when I post it on Strava that I ran and it shows that nice little, I get to see it on a map and it's just like, yeah, look, I went actual distance. So that's just a vanity thing, but I like that. And, yeah. Other than that, no, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't take my blood pressure. It doesn't, check me for diabetes.
It's like, Daniel, your cholesterol's a little high today.
What are you gonna? Any of those things.
No. Anyway, but I'm liking it so far. It's a little heavy. I mean, it's a little heavier than I'm used to having on my wrist, but other than that, going well so far.
Okay.
So unrelated to this, but this is my
hearing a click.
Yeah, me too. I think I tempted fate when I said my mixer was no longer doing that, because maybe it's doing it again.
Okay.
It could be coming. It could be coming from you, but I don't have any way of knowing.
You know what? We'll find out tonight when I edit. Or no, I'm not editing tonight. We'll find out on Sunday when I edit.
I am hearing it. It seems to be when you're a little louder. But
if you guys hear a clicking that's happening, it's fine.
So sorry. We apologize. We don't know who it is.
Problem.
It's my mixer. It heard me last week.
Probably Big Fatty. Oh, you know what? Big Fatty Online dug out his old technology segment crap today.
Yeah.
And he played the Big Fatty technology segment brought to you by Dubious Intent.
Uh-huh.
Blah, blah, blah. We need to update that, because there is no. Does dubiousIntent.com still?
No. Well, it reroutes to.
Okay, so it'll reroute you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will.
So we still own dubiousintent.com. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, we do. I do.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay.
So unrelated, but I've been talking about this a little bit on Geeky Gay, which is my award-winning podcast.
It is your award-winning podcast. I was just listening tonight when I was cooking, and you said something on there about, well, I know he's listening. Talking about me.
I do.
And it's like, and I was listening.
When I say, and do you listen, I'm specifically talking about you.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Like
I know.
you specifically. So my parents are going out of town, and they purchased a dog recently. Tabatha, the dog. And she is arriving tomorrow. For a 2-week stay.
She'll start her visit tomorrow.
And I'm a little nervous about it, because we haven't had a puppy in this house in so long. I mean, Sydney, also the dog, is the only puppy that we've had in this house, and she's 10 years old. So it's been a while. It wasn't even in this house. It was in another house, right? And I know we had some trials and tribulations, but we forget about them. You know, Sydney's trained now.
Right.
She's a bitch, but other than that, she sits and
I mean,
literally she is.
A bitch,
I get it.
Got it. Yeah.
But Tabatha, as they're saying in the chat room, the pee machine, as Kathy Marshall said, yes, absolutely. She is this excited peer. And I know I've talked about this before, but it is like a sprinkler. Like those like that. It is like a sprinkler. She gets excited, and she is just TTing all of my aunt used to say TT. That's what she do you need to TT? Mm-hmm. Adam, do you need to TT? Anyway, that was my favorite aunt.
Oh, diapers. They have diapers. They have doggy diapers.
Yeah, that'll go over well. So what I've decided, I went on Amazon last night, as you do. Right?
That is true. When you need something weird, that's the first place you go, right? It's just
So I went on there, I was like,
stainless steel dildo.
First of all,
you're going to start your search at Amazon.
So I know a couple of things about her. First of all, I know she chews up napkins and tissue.
Okay.
And strows it all about the place. So I'm like, okay, I was going to get pee pads, but those are made out of a material that she will want to chew up.
Right.
So I found washable pee pads that are cloth, but they have plastic on the bottom so they don't slide around on the hardwood floor.
Mm-hmm.
I got 5 6-foot by 6-foot.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I want to be prepared. Also, Mark and I are going to be getting a puppy at some point soon.
So it's like 30 square feet of
I don't want a pee pad the whole downstairs. And I bought 2 puppy playpen things that you can set up. And so what I'm going to do is mainly when we're gone, but I'm going to set up these pens to have a fenced in area inside the living room.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put the gate where the where our doggy door is.
Oh.
So she can go outside, but she's limited to only, right? And then I'm going to put those pee pads down the whole length of the, the pen or whatever. So I'm going to do that. And I don't know what else, because I also they had this waterproof dog blanket.
Yeah.
And they showed it over a couch. So I thought I'll put that over our couch. I think we're going to roll up the rugs. So all she has is hardwood floors.
Are they not training the dog? Like, is the dog not being trained?
They are training her, but she is an excited peer. Every time she comes over to me and I try to pet her or anything, she pees.
Yeah.
Like every time. So she's just going to be, and maybe that'll subside after she's been here a day or two and gets used to us and we're not new.
So she's going to be there during the Pride 48 live streaming weekend.
She is. Mark's going to be babysitting her while I'm up here.
Tabatha. So are you going to get texts from Mark going, boy, please don't leave me alone with your dog?
She will not be up here. You will not see her because I have carpet up here and I'm not going to have excited peeing on the carpet. Like that is not going to happen.
You will not have that.
I will not have that. And and my mom is really, she's one of those pet moms that gives the dog anything it wants. You know who I'm talking about, where it's like, well, she wanted a bite of my steak and mashed potatoes, so I had to give her that, or whatever. She, it doesn't hurt anything, honey. She wanted it, and then so last night, Mom was saying,
Adam,
yeah,
when you give her pills, you need to wrap it in a piece of ham, and you're gonna take that pill wrapped in the ham, and you're gonna dip it in this CBD oil. Because the CBD oil is going to really help her with her digestion. Okay, once you do that, then while it's still wet, you're going to roll it around in these crushed up peanuts, and that's going to make a little crunchy layer on it. And you're going to wrap all of that in cheese, and then you give her pill.
Well, I'm surprised that, because Auntie Scott is saying my mom is an asshole, but honestly, I feel like Auntie Scott may be a similar pet owner. I don't want to. Their pets are their family, so I imagine Auntie Scott making another beef stroganoff plate and like giving just it to
Howard.
Just for Howard. So I don't know. That may be similar. I could be wrong. Could be similar. But anyway, my mom is a pushover when it comes to the dog. So she gives the other juniors. She loves to swim, honey. They put up this one of those like 2 foot tall blow up swimming pools in the back, 2 or 3 feet in the backyard.
Like a
little waiting pool. But because my little niece and nephew came over during the summer, and so my parents put that up. My mom at some point decided to put the puppy in the pool, and she's like, "Oh my God, she loves swimming." So now all the time she's like putting the dog in the pool every day because it's hot outside. And so I don't know. So I don't know what it's going to be like. I'll report in. I will probably be, because I am determined. She also said, well, she was really, because they took her they boarded her last weekend. I told everyone on one of my podcasts that I said no to my mom because she asked me to go pick her up early. And so I said no to that. But so when Tabatha came back, Mom said, oh, she was so stressed out that now we've had to let her, sleep with us to calm her down. She said, now you don't have to let her sleep with you if you don't want to, but she really likes to cuddle at night. I'm like, Mom, there is no way I'm going to let that sprinkler system of a dog get in my bed and pee all over the place.
All right, look, the excited pee stuff is just a thing. By day 2, the dog's not going to be excited to see you. He's not going to. She's not going to pee.
My stepfather, every time he comes in the door, she pees, and she's lived there with him for the whole 2 or 3 months they've had her. So I don't buy that it's just going to end after a couple of days. Maybe we'll see, but
there we go.
3, 2, 1. Contact is the secret, is the moment when everything happens. Contact is the answer, is the reason that everything happens. Contact. Let's make contact.
Excellent. It is the contact segment of the show. This is a segment of the show where we read your emails, play your voicemails. Adam, do we have any emails this week?
Well, we have one that said it was just for me. However, anytime we get emails, I want to read them on the show. It says, this message is for Adam only, since Adam does all of the work. It's from Brian in where are they? The Berries?
The Berries, yes. Mm-hmm.
And he says, listening to the mix today, and you mentioned again that you ride a Peloton bike.
Yes.
Kevin and I both ride. Please add us to your list. I also did get a...
Wait, do none of you people use Strava? No. Why won't no one be my friend on Strava?
I don't use Strava, and also Peloton is a stationary bicycle. So I don't know that... I'm not sure that... Does Strava... So anyway, I added them. Okay. And we're all good. So I'm a little bit ashamed though, because I don't really push it too much these days on the exercise.
The Peloton is tracking how many steps you made, and it's probably checking your pulse when
No,
you
it's
put
not
your hand on
checking
the
vitals.
handlebars.
I don't mind steps and all that. I just don't want vitals. I don't want my temperature. I don't want my heart rate. I don't want any of that bullshit, right?
All right, Adam, let's go to our first phone call. Hello.
Hey, Adam and Daniel. This
Yes.
is Gary in Portland.
Hi, Gary.
Jimmy Buffett, who sang Margaritaville,
Yes.
has died at age 76.
76.
Put another $1 in the pot.
That's right.
We've got 5 more to go to get to 100. Anyway,
Look at that.
see
Gary's
you next
tracking it.
Friday night. Bye.
Yeah, Gary is tracking. He's correct with where's my ding? Nope, that's the wrong board. This is the board. With Jimmy Buffett's death, that takes us to $95 in the pot. So we need 5 more deaths to make it to $100.
I don't believe we're going to get that before
probably
the next show. I don't know how that would be possible, Daniel.
I don't know. Have any late entries come in since we've started the show? Let's go to our next phone call, though, shall we? Hello.
Mohammed Al Fayed, boss and owner of Harrods recently, Jodie Fayed's father, boyfriend of Princess Diana. May she rest in peace. Dead, age 94.
Okay.
This is Scotty Rossi Battler calling from a noisy cafe in Canberra, our nation's capital.
Canberra?
Woodhaven.
Canberra is the capital of Australia?
Canberra?
Is that the... is that really the capital of Australia?
He is Australian,
that.
Daniel. I would assume he knows.
No, but if you had asked me what the capital of Australia was, I would have...
Sydney?
I would have stared with you a blank stare for a little while, and then I would have gone like, Sydney? Yeah. Which I'm sure foreigners say that about United States all the time. Like, where's it? It's New York City? New York? Is it New York? Is that what it is? Okay, let's go to our next phone call. What was that?
It's one I'm putting at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Our next phone call. Hello.
Jimmy Buffett, dead, Bacon, Woodhaven.
All right, yeah, yes. But Jimmy, are we giving Scotty the Little Aussie Battler?
Yes.
I'm willing to give it to him. Yeah, so that's, I don't know his name.
We're trying to get to 100, so
what was his name? What was
Muhammad
his name?
Al Fayed.
Muhammad Al Fayed.
Yes.
Dead at 94. We're all very heartbroken. Jimmy Buffett, Kathy Bacon there. Let's go to our next phone call. Hello.
Hey, this is Tony in Illinois.
Hi, Tony in Illinois.
Yeah, I do have horrible cellular service because I drive from work to my house, and it's like an hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
And like right in the middle, a couple spots, AT&T just does not want to cooperate. So I'm trying... What am I trying right now? I'm trying Mint Mobile.
Oh, Mint
free
Mobile.
for 3 months just to see how their service
That's Ryan
is.
Reynolds.
And I think
He
it's
sold
a little
it.
bit better than the AT&T's. I'm not 100% sure because I think eventually I don't want to go with Mint, but I think I want to go with Google Fi.
Right.
Because they use the same towers. They use T-Mobile and I think US Cellular towers or something. And I think theirs are just a little bit better than AT&T's, but I really don't want to drop AT&T because I've been with them forever, so I don't know. I'm kind of in a dilemma whether I do or whether I don't.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Well, I
I'm
can
kinda
I can
stuck
give you
with
a alternative.
Pixel phones,
Yeah,
which I have a Pixel Fold right
Yeah.
now, and I like the
Oh.
Pixel phones. But if I want to go back to like Samsung or something, they don't offer very good like trade-ins for any other phone except for Pixel phones if you're on Google Fi. So I don't know. I'm still debating, but if the phone service is better and you hear all this message, I don't know, then great. We'll see what happens in the next couple of months.
Well,
But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
he didn't
Okay,
cut out.
Talk to you later. Bye.
No, he didn't. You know what?
Bye,
Here's the
Tony.
thing. Mint Mobile is an MVNO for both T-Mobile and AT&T. It uses whatever the band is. Like there's a CDMA band which Verizon uses, and then there's another band, G something. I don't know. Anyway, it's the one that T-Mobile and AT&T use. But Mint Mobile combines the two of them, just like Google Fi does as well. Like Google Fi is just an MVNO for both of those as well.
Yes. Ryan Reynolds sold that. He no longer owns it. I believe.
He is still advertising. He is still advertising for it on Strike Force 5. Mint Mobile is sponsoring Strike Force 5, and Ryan Reynolds is doing the ads for it. And because they just lowered their rate to like $15 a month for unlimited data. Anyway,
I never noticed this, but all the way back in like 2010, 2011, Bones was doing those commercials that were kind of put inside the show, the episode. You know what I'm talking about? So they're driving along to do an interview with someone, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, this Prius just put on the blinker on its own," and he's like, I know.
Like,
there's this feature on the Prius, the Prius that we're driving right now. It's like, Jesus,
or the Ford Taurus that they're driving, and they're like trying to change a lane, and there's like, what's wrong with your steering wheel? It's the Ford's lane keeping.
I never noticed it before, and now that I'm going back and rewatching it,
Tony, I've got a solution to your problems. I was checking it out while you were talking, so when I got quiet there. You have an Android phone, which is great. All you need to do, instead of calling us, all you need to do is just hit the little microphone or say the wake word. We all know the wake word I'm talking about. Hey, G, right? You say that. You say launch recorder. It will launch the Android voice recorder. And then you just hit the record button and you just start talking to us. And then you can just send that recording to us via MP3. Like you just share that recording with our email address and it'll send us an MP3. So there you go. And then you don't have to worry about the connections at all. So how's that?
I will say he sounded better though.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did sound better.
Yeah. Was that the same stretch of road though that he was on with AT&T?
Who knows? We'll never know.
And then we have a late comer into this call this evening. What is this? Hello.
Bill Richardson is dead.
Yeah.
I saw him at the New Mexico State Fair in 2010.
Okay.
Outside the Asbury Pie House. Talk to you later. See, I'm at 548 tonight. Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Dale Richardson.
We're at $97. Archer seemed to think that if you put a link to an article about somebody's death in the chat room, that would count. But no. Nay.
Here's the thing. If we get 3 more, I'll pre-listen to the phone call. If we get 3 more before the live show on next Friday night, I'll play the 3 before we do our drawing.
Okay.
It's going to be like the whole show. It's great. It'll be an hour that people don't have to hear us talk. Let's. That was it. That was all the contact.
Yeah, the contact.
I don't have this thing. Why does Mix Minus?
Now, should I do a single shot of you when you're doing a rant?
Yes. No, there should never be a one shot, Adam.
Because then I'm not responding. I'm just single shotting you.
I get it. You're talking about a rant, and the reason is because we have a color coded system on our Trello that lets us know
apparently
whether something is, something that you should interrupt them and make jokes about or whatever, just like a general topic, as opposed to, no, this is a rant and I want to say what I'm going to say. And, so give me a runway to say it. So it's on the old Trello here. And I've heard this in a bunch of places, and it's just one of those, how when people call it an ATM machine and it kind of like annoys you because you're just like going, no, the M means machine. It's an ATM. It's an automatic teller machine.
Well, do you say social security number? Because that's also.
Exactly. No, social security number is what you do say. You're thinking of PIN number.
PIN number, yes.
PIN number, which is
right.
PIN stands for personal identification number, right? So no, I do not have a hashed PIN, right? I don't have a number that represents my personal identification number. Just little things like that. This is starting to annoy me, and I just want to clear the air, Adam. I just want to clear the air. This is not aimed at anyone in particular. I've heard this in a bunch of different places. Twitter changing its name to X is not the same as Facebook changing its name to Meta or Google changing its name to Alphabet. Because in the case of Facebook and Google, it was this huge company that didn't just do the Facebook product or didn't just do Google. It was doing a lot of other things. And so the parent company was the same name as one of its subsidiaries. So they changed the name of the parent company. It in no way altered the name of the product Facebook or changed anything about the product Facebook that you continue to use and either love or hate, right? That did not change when Google changed its name to Alphabet. That was the parent company changing its name. It had no effect on Google. Google still did what Google did. When he changed the name of Twitter, like Twitter was already owned by X Corporation. So its parent company was already named X. But then he took the extra step to rename the product to X. So that's why it's different is they didn't get rid of Facebook, the product. They didn't get rid of Google, the product. They just changed the name of their parent corporations. It's just a stupid, corporate kind of a thing.
You're really invested in this Twitter name change, I feel.
It's not that, Adam. I'm invested in technology, and it annoys me when people get things wrong. It's the same. I know it's petty, and it's the exact same as personal identification number or automatic teller machine. Oh wait, I was corrected in the chat room. Auntie Scott says it's automated.
Automated. Yes.
Do you remember when they first came out, or are you too young to know that?
I don't know because I'm sure when they came out, I was too young to be having my own bank account.
Yeah, they didn't call them ATMs then. Everyone had, it's like your new electronic personal teller. It's like, and they were all different. Like there was a couple of banks here that had their Mary Ann system, but you couldn't use it. Like they weren't interchangeable. You couldn't, you could only use your bank card at those kind of machines or whatever. And then of course, it homogenized and now they all work together.
Well, Daniel, I don't know what year you were born, but I just Googled it and it said the first automated teller machine prototype came out in 1969. So, when were you born?
67.
So you couldn't remember that because you would have been 2 years old.
No.
But
that's the first one that was. That's not the first one that was put out into use. Like, do you remember seeing your first, not the first, your first ATM?
They probably. I lived in a small town. I don't remember. They probably, even though the first one came out in 1970, probably about 85. 88, my bank was getting.
I remember it was mobile that first allowed you to pay at the pump. And there were other gas stations that wouldn't let you pay at the pump or were inconsistent about whether you could pay at the pump. Like you still had to go inside to pay and stuff. So it's like I switched to using mobile for that period because it's like I don't want to talk to an employee. I don't want to have a conversation with the gas guy. I just want to get my gas and go.
I had to go into the gas station again the other day.
Yeah. And was that guy there?
That guy, he lives there. I swear to Jesus. He lives there. He must. Every time I go, and he's the only one. Like the only one that I ever see is this guy.
Hey, what's up?
Hey. I just want to buy these Funyuns. I just want to buy these Funyuns.
I'm gonna eat some Funyuns. I said,
Oh,
you gonna have a movie tonight? What kind of movie are you gonna watch? Have you seen that Jaws movie? You should watch that.
I just want to buy my Funyuns, man. Just take and don't touch the Funyuns bag. I'm putting it on the counter with the barcode up. Just take the scanner and hold the scanner over.
I'm a professional. That is not the correct way to put the barcode.
Don't touch my Funyuns. Don't talk to me. Just pick up the scanner, scan
Am
my
I allowed to tell you that'll be $23.15, please?
No, I don't even need it. It comes up on the little screen. It comes up.
Anyway, where are we with our thing? That was I'm just saying.
That was it. So sorry. I apologize for everyone, Daniel. So
yeah, I know.
Have you listened to Throwing Down yet?
No, my feed, as we have established, my feed is delayed until after this. And it's so bad that after last week's show, I got to listen to an episode of Throwing Down, and it was before you left to go on vacation. And I texted Batanz. I'm like, just how old are these episodes that you're sending me on my feed? And he's like, oh yeah, I forgot to refresh it. And so then I got to hear last week's episode, or the last episode.
Thank you, Joe. Not that he listens to this, but anyway, so we went Saturday. We were trying to decide what we were going to eat, and we decided to go to a Mexican restaurant.
Yes.
That is local.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time we went there, we ate in person. We really enjoyed it. It was quick service. It was good service. Everything else, we're like, okay, because we really like Acambaro, but it's far away. You wouldn't know. It's a local chain. You wouldn't. Okay. But we like that. But this is similar and closer. So I called him. I'm like, oh, hey. He's like, hey, amigo.
Wait, did you?
He really did
them?
say that. He really
I
did
thought that
say.
Was you. Oh, thank God. Oh,
he
thank
says.
God. No, I thought you.
Hello,
when
amigo.
he answered the phone, said, "Hey, amigo."
No, that's what he said. No, I did not say that.
Hey, amigo. Hey, amigo. Let me ask you something. Can I have dos porcos?
I could call him hermano, brother, even though I don't know the guy. But so I placed my order.
Yes.
Want the number 34. Mark doesn't want beans, extra rice, et cetera, et cetera.
Of course.
He says, okay, great. It's going to be about 10 minutes. He doesn't take my name or anything, which I was a little concerned about that, but I'm like, okay,
Literally, you're the only white person in the restaurant that said, hey, amigo.
I did not say, hey. He said, hey, amigo. And also, I think he said that when I got there, not when I was on the phone, but it's what came to me. Anyway, regardless.
Yes.
He called me amigo at some point. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm his friend, Daniel. But so he says about 10 minutes. So we wait, we drive over.
Mm-hmm.
And I just find this weird. Have you ever gone up to a restaurant where they have decided that they need a drive-through window at the restaurant and they've cut a hole in the brick wall? There's just like a random drive-through window. And it's not like a fast food place where they've actually built the building to have a drive-through window. They're like, you know what we're going to do to-go orders? We're going to cut a drive-through window in the side.
Yep.
They had done that, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if we qualified for that because I've not done this before. Right. And as my experience with Freddy's will show you, sometimes I get in the drive-through lane and they say, nope, you got to come in. So I didn't want to go through that.
And then you call the district manager
exactly.
on the phone and like, I'm in line at your restaurant.
So I went in, and this was the start of the problems.
Okay.
First, I have to wait for quite a while until he comes over. And then he comes over and says, would you mind waiting? I'm sorry, sir. I'll be with you momentarily, or something like that. Amigo.
Uno momento.
And so he's waiting on someone that's at the drive-through window.
Oh.
But he stands there and has a conversation in Spanish for what seemed like 15 minutes. He's like, oh, and it's like they're friends. his friend or his cousin.
Did he use the word amigo? Because that would indicate that was his friend.
Well, Daniel, I wasn't eavesdropping. I don't know what they were saying, but it seemed like a really long time. Finally. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, because as some people know about me, I have a thing about wanting my fast food to be fresh.
Yes.
I don't want it to be sitting there for a long, as fresh as possible, right?
Fresh as possible.
So they had a little bench over there where the to-go orders were, and there was clearly one that he was giving to the person at the window, and there was another bag sitting there.
Yes.
And it was there when I walked in. So while I was waiting the 15 minutes to be waited on, it was sitting there the whole time.
Oh, now we're at 15 minutes. Okay.
And then so I'm looking at it like, it's getting cold as we speak, everything's going stale. So finally he finishes up his conversation.
Yeah.
Comes over. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry about your wait, blah, blah, blah. I've got your order right here, amigo." And so he walks over to the bag, Daniel.
Yeah.
And he
spits in it. Literally spits. Oh,
he looks and he kind of looks away and he looks at the bag again. And then he feels the outside of the bag. And I'm like, oh my God. He has just given this person that he talked to for 15 minutes my order. He's like, oh wait, there aren't enough things in this bag. I think I get. So he comes over to me as he's dialing the phone, Daniel. He has picked up the phone and he's dialing. He's like, amigo, I'm so sorry, but it appears that I have given your bag to the car that was here before. And then I don't remember what he says, but this is basically that he kind of looks at me. He's like, but I'm going to call them right now. Would it be okay? I'm like, and then I'll be okay for what? He's like, would it be okay if they're just around the corner? They're like right here. They're just, if I call them and they bring it back, could I give that to you and you give, I'm like, yeah, I would prefer if you remake my order.
Yeah.
It's like, and so, and he's like, okay, no problem. But here's the thing. This is the thing. He still gets them on the phone and calls them.
Yeah.
They come back. I thought he's just going to hand them the bag and let them keep the food. Right. No, they hand the food back through the window. He goes into the kitchen with the bag. And then like 2 minutes later,
comes out with
yours.
comes
out with mine. And I'm like, did he really swap that out? But I can't really accuse him. I don't know. There's no video footage or anything like that. But I was like, I don't think he probably also spit in that when he got back. But I did talk to Joe about this. And there is a law in California that you can, once the food touches the table or the hand or the car or whatever of another person, that's it. Yeah. Like, I mean, you cannot.
You do realize it's against the Visa contract to have a minimum purchase price. So all these places that say like $10 minimum purchase to use your credit card, it's like that's against their Visa contract. Like they're not supposed to do that. Like you could actually, push the issue and they'll have to take your Visa. But there's always going to be small shop owners who feel that they're on such razor thin margins that they're going to flaunt those things, right? He's just damn, I gave the wrong bag to Bob. Bob's literally right over there. He hasn't even opened the bag yet. Let me just get him back here and then we'll just swap it. Look, if he's opened the bag, I'll make it all new fresh. But I guarantee you he hasn't even opened the bag because I know the guy. He's my amigo. And
yeah, exactly. They're friends. They talked for a long time. But what would you do? I mean, would you take, because I part of me feels like, oh, I'm sure it's fine, whatever.
This is all right.
But part of me is like, what if their snot-nosed kid blew a booger in the bag or something, and I don't know, like.
Do you want to know what I would do?
What would you do?
I would, when he said, will you, is it okay if they bring it back? Can we just swap? And I would just be like, I would say, yeah, okay. And if the bag came back and it had not been opened and, it was just literally sitting in their car, and they just hand it back. It was, bag had clearly not been opened, nothing had been disturbed in there, I would take it and I would be fine and I would be happy. If the bag looked in the least bit disturbed or whatever, or if anything like looked greasy that shouldn't look greasy or whatever, I would take the bag, I'd walk outside, throw it in the trash, and I'd go somewhere else. It's just like, that's
Daniel,
honestly what I would
That
do.
is how you get roofied, Daniel. You never leave your bag of fast food out of your eyesight. Like for another person, you will get date raped.
I'm just telling you, Adam, that is what I would do.
I'm not gonna. Yeah.
At no point would I confront the guy about that, because
I didn't confront him. He asked me.
No. At no point would I give him any reason to spit in my food. At no point would I be like, I'd really prefer it if you made it fresh. It's like, oh, okay. And you know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh God, now there's no way I'm eating this. There's
Kathy
no way
says,
this food is touching my face.
Kathy says cooking at home is less dramatic, tastier, healthier, and maybe cheaper. I love fast food, Kathy Bacon. It is the tastiest food to me. Even though I love to go to fancy restaurants, my favorite food is fast food. Like fast food is, I love
was just reading a story today about how billionaires have such simple, eclectic tastes.
I mean, I like to go to a nice restaurant, but
further cementing. Yeah, like a nice restaurant. Bill Gates rented out this, really nice restaurant for 2 days and ordered a Diet Coke and left. It's like he rented it out for 2 days and all he ever had in there was a Diet Coke.
Yeah. So
I'm just telling you.
And also this was a Mexican restaurant. It wasn't fast food. It was a restaurant where you would go sit down, whatever. So
I'm just saying, I would not give the man an occasion to spit in my food. And if it looked like nothing had been touched,
I mean, he called me amigo. I don't think he spit in my food. At some point you just have to trust.
A man that says amigo could never do anything. I think, do I have this? I think I have this. News game. It's the news game. It's the news game. What questions will he ask? It is the Mix Minus News Game. This is the segment of the show where Adam will read me 5 questions from the New York Times news quiz. And I, using only my head, brain, and mouth words, will answer those questions. These are multiple choice questions, but I will try to answer it without asking what the question, what the options are, but I am always free to ask for the options there. And I'm now stalling because I don't have my 60-second timer queued up. And
well, you don't need that yet.
Cheating. I know, but then if I do it later, you'll be like, are you looking up the answer? And I'm not. After I do the 5 questions, we then go into a speed round where Adam will read me as many questions off of a Trivial Pursuit card as he can in 60 seconds. Yeah, that's how that works. Adam, what is the first question on the old news quiz this evening?
Daniel, my amigo.
Yes.
Enrique Tarrio.
Mm-hmm.
I probably don't want to call that guy my amigo now that I look at the question.
Mm-hmm.
Not my amigo.
Yes.
Enrique Tarrio.
Mm-hmm.
Was sentenced to 22 years in prison for his role in organizing his followers to attack the Capitol on January 6, 2021.
Yes.
What group was he the leader of?
I believe he was the leader of the Proud Boys.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Politicians have long warned of rising Medicare spending. A Times analysis this week found that per-patient Medicare spending has blank since 2010.
Leveled off. And they're confused as to why.
Okay, the answer that most closely resembles leveled off is stayed largely flat.
Yes, well, yes.
So I will select that one.
Yes.
Okay, correct.
As you know, Adam, I do work for a healthcare company. So yes, this was of interest to me when I read it earlier this week. Go ahead.
Steve Harwell, the longtime lead singer of the rock band Smash Mouth, died this week. Somebody could have called that in.
Oh my God.
The band's biggest song, All Star, is that, hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, or something.
Yeah.
Had a second life when it was featured in the opening scene of which film?
Oh, I'm going to need the choices on this one because it's probably been in a lot of them, but hopefully this will jump out at me. Go ahead.
Okay. The Fast and the Furious.
Okay.
Ocean's 11. The
Okay.
Princess Diaries.
Okay.
Shrek. Or Zoolander.
It's going to either be Shrek or The Fast and the Furious. So, I feel like it's more of a Shrek vibe, so I'm going to go with Shrek.
Okay, let's have a look. That is
Sweet.
correct. Number 4.
Sweet. I did not know that one. That was a complete guess, by the way.
Which American tennis star made it to the final in the U.S. Open for the first time this week? So I'll give you your choices. Coco
Okay.
Gauff,
Oh.
Francis Tiafoe,
Uh-huh.
Madison Keys,
Uh-huh.
Naomi Osaka,
Uh-huh.
or Tommy Paul.
I'm being told
I mean,
by
isn't
my,
this your
I'm being
favorite
told by
tennis
my
star?
I'm being told by my producer that it's Lorna Doone.
There is
But
no Lorna
I,
Doone on the keys, on the choices.
I'm more inclined to say that it's Chunky Deborah.
Neither one of
I
those.
have no
Chunky
idea.
Deborah is from Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning.
That's a play on Little Debbie, right?
I do know that. Yeah, he
Okay,
even
yes,
dresses
go ahead.
up like Little Debbie.
Yes.
Which one are you going to choose, Daniel?
I do not know. I do not know.
Okay, you have to give me what? Coco Gauff, Francis
Coco Gauff.
That's correct. Number 5.
Love that
Two
movie.
people
It's the
were accused.
final question.
2 people were accused of driving an excavator through which ancient landmark to create a shortcut?
Oh, I read this story and I do not know the landmark. What are my choices?
You have Chichen Itza.
Chichen Itza.
Sure. The Great Wall of China. China. Hadrian's Wall, or Hadrian's Wall, I'm not sure. The pyramids of
Tutankhamun?
The pyramids of Teotihuacan,
Uh-huh.
or the walls of Palmyra.
Shit. The third one. That's a total guess.
Hadrian's
Third one.
Wall.
Third.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was the Great Wall of China, Daniel.
Oh, the Great Wall
They
of China.
irreparably damaged the Great Wall of China.
How dare they?
The game begins.
Oh, shit. Let's put 60 seconds up on the big board.
In 3, 2, 1.
What percentage of New Jersey's population lives in the metropolitan area?
10%.
100%. What sitcom was nominated for a record 109 Emmy Awards?
Seinfeld?
Cheers. What senator prompted Pat Buchanan to ask, quote, how many 59-year-olds still go to Florida for spring vacation?
What? Who am I looking for? A senator?
What senator prompted Pat Buchanan to ask?
Yeah. Oh, Strom Thurmond. I don't know.
Edward Kennedy. What multi-legged critter is the object of the most common phobia?
Oh, spiders.
That is correct. What did sweet-talking Giovanni Vigliotto do 105 times from 1963 to 1983?
Make love. I don't know.
He got married. What homer hitter is...
Oh, I am so sorry. I could not complete the...
You did get one.
You know what that popping noise is?
I hope it's coming from you, because...
It's the Bluetooth.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the show closing music without the Bluetooth. Anyway, yeah. So I got 4 out of 5 on the main quiz, and I got that bonus point in the bonus round. So that makes 5. That's 5 out of 5, Adam. That's 100%.
Could the audience please stop popping gum in the back row there?
In the back row. Oh, and then I did that. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was fun. Adam, each and every week, our executive producer, Cyclone, sends us an exhaustive compendium of things that happened on the date that we were recording of some other year. That these would be all things that happened on September 8th of some other year. I'm going to be mad if it's not on the list.
Thanks for sending it early, Cyclone, because I'll say I was able to look and find the ones you did before I recorded Geeky Gay.
And you got the good one. You got the National Star Trek Day, or Star Trek Day. Happy
he
Star
didn't
Trek
put it
today.
on there, so fair game. Fair game.
So screw these other ones. It's Star Trek Day, everyone.
You can't
and by the way,
repeat it.
Adam. By the way, I now remember while I was listening to your show, your award-winning podcast, The Geeky Gay. I heard you say about the Dax creatures and whatever, and I'm like going, the Trill. You mean the Trill? You're talking about the
Her
Trill.
name was Jadzia. My favorite one was
Dax,
like Jadzia
right.
Dax. Yeah.
All right, but Dax was a Trill.
I didn't watch Deep Space Nine, so
Dax was the symbiote, but they started on Next Generation. They were on anyway. The Trill are a joined race. There's the symbiote, and then there's the host. The symbiote has no sex, but it lives on between hosts. So the symbiote itself has no sex, but it could have memories of being a male or being a female. And the story on Star Trek that touched on the trans thing was that Beverly Crusher fell in love with the Trill host who was male, but he got injured and they had to move the Trill to a new host, and it was a female host, and Beverly couldn't continue to love the female. Right, even though it was the same person, it was the same symbiote, it was the same dominant personality. Anyway,
I was close.
You were nowhere near close.
I was kind of close.
Nowhere near close.
Well, anyway.
By the way, I love that I changed the name of your podcast from Geeky Gay to The Geeky Gay.
Yes.
On the spreadsheet. And then you sent it out, and now I see on our social media it's listed everywhere as The Geeky Gay.
Did I? I thought I deleted the. You know what? No, you know what? I bet Veritable Virgo added a the back because he's the social media coordinator, and you guys are in collusion because the schedule clearly has Geeky Gay. If you look at the schedule on the website, it clearly has no the. So if you're talking about social media, it's very.
I mean, when I go to thegeekygay.com, it does take me to your website.
Yeah,
so
wonder who did that.
I continue to pay for that year after year.
You calling me a 1%er, and Daniel is paying for a yearly domain just for a joke.
Here's the thing, Adam. You also had me write the script for the opening announcements from Auntie Scott. Now, do you think there's a chance in hell that it doesn't say The Geeky Gay?
Auntie Scott loves me and would never say the name of my show incorrectly.
Also on this day, in 1958, a California appellate court overturned the nuisance conviction of a theater owner because of sex in the theater. Sex in the theater.
Sex in the theater.
Have you ever had sex in a theater?
I have not.
Oh, come on. Oh, but
Where's it?
Oh shit, that's the wrong board. Where's that?
Well,
Bullshit.
What are you
Adam,
referring to as a theater? I mean, I've had sex in a arcade.
Well, the one that you and I were at together had a theater in it, and I saw you have sex there. So he's like, I know you've had sex.
I don't consider that a theater. I'm thinking of like, a movie theater where there are rows of seats and a big screen at the front.
Like every adult theater I've ever been in has couches, not seats. They have like rows of couches.
Those are arcades, aren't they? They call them theaters?
They
were just pretty much just back rooms. I know back in the 60s when you were born, they were actual theaters, Daniel, but now
we had ATMs. Let's see. On September 8th of 2019, Mickey Mouse and a group of Walt Disney World cast members surprised young Jermaine Bell of Jacksonville, Florida on his 7th birthday. He was given a dream Walt Disney World vacation after he used his vacation savings to feed Hurricane Dorian evacuees.
Alrighty.
Mickey Mouse himself, Adam. We didn't meet Mickey when we were there, did we?
No, we met Daffy and Daisy, or Daisy and somebody.
Daffy is from Warner Brothers. No, we met Daisy.
Daisy and
Duck.
Donald is what I meant.
Daisy, Duck. We did not meet Donald. Donald is the abusive boyfriend. We met Daisy. We love Daisy.
Weren't there
Daisy.
two of them? Oh no, okay.
Nope,
it was just Daisy.
No, it was just Daisy.
I wonder if who's Daisy's boyfriend?
Donald.
So I wonder if Donald likes to do a dollop of Daisy. Do you get that? Because
yeah, in September, on September 8th of 1504, Michelangelo's statue of David is unveiled to the public. Now you've seen the statue in
it
real
is
life.
so impressive. If you do nothing else in Italy, go see the statue of David. It is the most impressive thing I have ever seen in my life.
This is the thing, I did not know this. David is 17 feet tall.
He is super tall.
I've only ever seen pictures of it, so I have no idea how tall it is.
You know, they say your hand kind of can tell people the size of your penis.
Yeah.
But in his case, he has super big hands. And I feel like the penis does not match.
Yeah, he's probably a grower.
Oh, he could
not
be a
shower.
grower. I mean, he could be a grower. But, it's very impressive, though. If you, like I said, if you're in Italy, stop by and see David. That's all I'm saying.
On September 8th of 1664, Dutch Governor Peter Stuyvesant surrendered New Amsterdam, the capital of New Netherland, to an English naval squadron under Colonel Richard Nicholas, and it became New York.
Oh. Is that why that show was called New Amsterdam? Because New York used to be called New Amsterdam?
I thought that was about a hospital named New Amsterdam. I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why is the hospital's name New Amsterdam? But I think it's New Amsterdam because maybe that was the name. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. September 8th, 1974, President Ford pardoned disgraced, resigned President Nixon. And his, was it his chief of staff? There was somebody who resigned because of, like when Nixon pardoned when Ford pardoned Nixon, his chief of staff or somebody resigned.
The only thing I know about that is there was apparently some water and there was a gate, but I don't know anything else.
Holy shit! Did you know that Queen Elizabeth died on September 8th, like a year ago? Did you know that this is the year anniversary of Queen Elizabeth dying?
Oh, no, I didn't. Rest in peace, Liz.
Wow. Oh, shit, Adam. I hate to bring this to your attention, but the Second Great Depression is just weeks away. The government fears panic in the streets as banks lock their doors and thousands fight for food. Plus, how can your family survive the coming financial collapse? Yeah. Second Great Depression. This was from the September 8th, 1998 edition of the Weekly World News.
I recently saw a recipe for water pie. Apparently that's a Great Depression dish, so I'm prepared. I know how to make water pie.
Big Fatty grew up eating water pie. That was like his I kind of loved it when my mammy made water pie.
Yeah.
I don't know why he called her mammy.
Mammy.
That's just what that Big Fatty character in my head did.
I think that makes me think of that dancing frog.
Mm-hmm. Hello, my baby. Hello. Yeah, well, I think we've talked about
we have. But I mean, we've done so many
Yeah.
episodes by now. We've talked about everything possible.
Do you have the PDF up to show
I do.
the video?
Oh, I
folks?
don't. I can't. No, I can't do that. Sorry.
I was gonna say the Rat Pack proves no match for the Rack Pat, a biker gang ripped to shreds by a band of drunken raccoons. Bunch of drunken raccoons.
Why are the raccoons drunk?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they were having a bad night. Maybe they do live in dumpsters, so maybe someone threw away a case of bourbon or something.
Maybe I could get Tabatha drunk. You think put a little
Don't you
use
have
the Bartesian.
some leftover? Do you have some leftover CBD from the previous?
When you
what was the
visited?
previous ones? What was the previous dog's name?
Oh, you
Shane.
mean Mom?
Yeah. Do you have Shane's CBD pills? Will that calm her down?
Mom never. Actually, Mom, the vet did give Mom some pills to calm her down, and they
Some
cut them into.
gabapentin?
I don't know what it is, but they cut them into 4, and she said if she, at night or like when she's crazy, just give her a 1/4 of a pill.
Yeah.
So I guess I do have some I will have some drugs to give her.
You
So
literally just crush up the whole thing and just dump it in all of her food. And then she'll sleep for the 2 weeks.
I
It'll
know.
be great. An expert's etiquette for the second coming of Christ. What you should say if you meet Jesus in person? I think this would be of a special
I would just say
interest to you.
Oh, no,
Like,
I know what I would say. I have it.
Yeah.
I would say,
Okay,
"Hey,
what?
amigo." That is what I would say.
So, you believe in God, and you believe that Jesus is coming back.
I
right?
do.
So if he came back in Arkansas, like right in front of you, how would you address him?
Amigo. That's what I just said.
No. Master, my Lord, or Father are the most appropriate forms of address, but the down-to-earth former carpenter won't be offended if you call him by his given name,
Bro.
Jesus.
Oh.
No, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Would you touch him?
I don't know. This hasn't happened, so I'm not sure. I haven't thought through this.
This is This is the etiquette, Adam. This is the expert's etiquette for meeting Jesus in person. I'm assuming this expert has met Jesus in person numerous times.
Maybe.
Don't be afraid of touching God's flesh and blood incarnation. So yes, you can touch him.
I would touch Daniel. I would touch the hem of his garment.
You can reach
the hem
down. Are you going to reach down?
The hem. There's a scripture about the woman
and you're
who
gonna
touched
bend
the hem.
over. You're going to meet Jesus and you're going to bend over in front of him to reach his hem.
Well, there are other hems. Don't they hem your sleeves and other things? I don't know.
Would you grab his crotch?
No, I would.
That is
I would.
not-
That is
yes, good,
That
good,
is inappropriate.
Good.
That is
That is
not
correct.
appropriate.
Etiquette expert agrees with you. That would be inappropriate. To
You know,
touch
they
Jesus.
say, and I don't want to be sacrilegious here. And Mom, if you're listening, don't
late,
listen.
yes. Mm-hmm.
But they say that Jesus is probably Middle Eastern. Really,
Yes.
we always portray him as this white guy with like shoulder length hair,
blue
or whatever.
eyes and blonde hair. Yes.
But they say he's probably Middle Eastern. I find Middle Eastern guys
probably. He was born in Bethlehem.
I find Middle Eastern guys to be extremely hot.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably
He was born in
is.
Bethlehem from 2 Jewish parents, and you're like, yeah, he was probably Middle Eastern. Yeah, he probably was. Adam, thousands upon thousands of people, hell, millions of people have their birthday on September 8th, and we would like to say happy birthday to some of the more attractive ones of them right now. Happy birthday, Gaten Matazaro. You've turned 21. Also, happy birthday, JTT. You're turned 42. That's Jonathan Taylor Thomas, for those of you in the know. Also, David Arquette turned 52 years old. And Bernie Sanders, 82 sexy motherfucking years.
Oh my Lord! I don't know
Bernie
that we
Sanders.
needed that photo of Bernie Sanders.
Let's see, who else do we have today? Martin Freeman turned 52. Amy Mann, 63. Heather Thomas, 66. Naomi Smalls turned 30. Cameron Dallas turned
Chumley.
29.
Do you know where he's from?
I do not.
Chumley from Pawn Stars turned 41. I mean, I don't even know if Pawn Stars is still a show, but I know he was on there.
I know Pink turned 44, Nate Cordry turned 46, and that's all the people I recognize. Also born on this day, but no longer with us, Patsy Cline and Peter Sellers, also Sid Caesar. To all of you, from all of us here, we wish you the happiest happies of birthdays. To you. I think I said that. All right. Adam, just one thing to cover before we head off. There's one that, with the next time that people are going to hear us, it's going to be on the live streaming Pride 48 weekend. And we're going to do our little thing.
We are.
Do a little dance. Make a little noise.
Are we going to do anything special, or are we just going to do our regular
get down tonight?
Well,
we're gonna announce the winner of the celebrity death.
That's
phone,
true.
Right?
That's true.
That drawing. That'll be.
Should I buy
5
some
minutes.
cookies and send them to you for us to try, or
cookies?
Remember the Vegas weekend where I bought the
the gluten-free
vegan or gluten-free or something cookies, and we tested them.
Yeah.
Actually, that's
So
a good throwing
keto.
down bit. Actually, I should send him
some
kind
Never
of
mind then.
food
Well, then fuck
because
that.
we have a cooking segment
Whatever.
on throwing down.
Right.
So we don't right now because apparently his parents' house is under construction. So
Archer is in the chat room. He's saying, "What? What is that weekend? It's next weekend, Archer. Next week. You won't be here. You're going to be.
He knows.
Wearing a suit, getting married, to someone, to your cousin. I think you're marrying your cousin. Anyway, Adam, I've been listening to this podcast, and I do love a good podcast.
You do.
And I've been listening to Strike Force 5. And I don't know if you ever heard of it or if you're aware of it.
Yes, it's all the hosts of all the John Oliver and Jimmy Kimmel and
Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers,
him.
and Jimmy Fallon.
Yes.
It's the 5
no
network.
James Corden, so I'm not listening to it. But
Well, that's because he's no longer a late night
I know.
host. It's the 5 network late night hosts.
Yes.
And it is sponsored, but it's raising money for their staff. Like they're giving all the money from this to their staff to pay them during the strike. And they're only doing it for 10 weeks. Like this is just to help pay, to help offset cost of their staff, like to pay their staff and to, so that like this is not going to be a permanent thing. So it's just a temporary thing.
Got it.
So I'm listening to it. And the first thing is, and I know you're going to dog me for this, so just, you know what, just go ahead. Just dog me for it.
Did you send them an email and say, guys, I love the show, but if you need any help with your audio,
all right, look,
I have some experience.
I wanted to send that email so fucking bad, because the audio was abysmal. This is a Zoom call that they just recorded the audio from the Zoom call and posted that. So there's clipping, they're ducking under each other. You can't hear everything. It's not loud enough. And in some places it's too loud. It's a hot fucking mess.
You say that on the episode of our show where we literally have snap, crackle, and pop.
No one's going to hear that, Adam. No one's going to hear that because we take the time to fix these things in post. Only our live audience is tortured by our audio fuck ups. Here's the thing, Adam, is I'm like, I so wanted to send an email going like, there's a setting in Zoom where you can have every audio track individualized and then just publish the podcast with that and there'll be no ducking. Like literally all you can just use their individual tracks and then there won't be ducking. I wanted to send them that email. I didn't. But as I'm listening to this show, I realized 2 things and they both kind of surprised me. Number 1 is I have a new respect for Jimmy Kimmel that I don't know that I had before. Like I always assumed that Jimmy Kimmel was just, dick jokes and, titty jokes or whatever.
Yeah. Didn't he have a show called The Man Show or something like that? Was him? Yep.
Yes. But Jimmy Kimmel is actually quite quick-witted and quite politically engaged and knowledgeable and stuff. So I have a new respect for Jimmy Kimmel and, he's very quick-witted. He's, I enjoy his stick. On the opposite end of that spectrum, Jimmy Fallon is so hopelessly outclassed by every other person on that podcast that it's embarrassing. He is so not in their league. You know what I'm saying? Like Jimmy Kimmel is not in you're on a podcast with Stephen Colbert, John Oliver, Jimmy Kimmel, and Seth Meyers, right? So prior to me even knowing that Jimmy Kimmel was fast, I'm going like, those are 3 of the most quick-witted comics in the world. John Oliver,
sure,
Stephen Colbert, and Seth Meyers. Those are, head writer of The Daily Show, head writer of Saturday Night Live, and John Oliver. But my point is
British.
Fallon.
So I mean,
yeah, Fallon is so apparently, the weak link. He's like, yeah, guys, me too. It's like he has nothing. He adds nothing to this podcast. But this week, this whole hit piece lands in the news about the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon being this toxic workplace. And they've gone through 9 showrunners in 9 years and everything. And this Strike Force 5 podcast is weekly and going on every single week. So I'm so glued to my seat for this next week's podcast to hear if they're going to address.
Well, he'll end his show like Ellen did. Well, actually, he can't because the Tonight Show will go on. They just find a new host or something. But
if you could get through the hideous audio, Strike Force 5, it's on Spotify. And,
but did you enjoy the podcast? Yes, you didn't. You didn't say you enjoyed it. You just don't like Fallon.
I enjoyed it. No, it's not that it has nothing to do with not liking him. It's just you're like listening to people at the peak of their game, and there's clearly someone who's not, like one of these things is not like the other. So it has nothing to do with whether I like Jimmy Fallon or not. Like on his own, I've seen Jimmy Fallon before, and I didn't. He was okay. He's done some funny things.
He's kind of a quirky, awkward,
exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly. But he is not quick on his feet. Like he is not an improv comic. Like he is not a, he has no talent for that whatsoever. So.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Anyway. Also, they're sponsored by a liquor company, so they get free liquor. I just want to hear next week if they're. I mean, how can Stephen Colbert not bring this up? You know what I'm saying? How could John Oliver and Stephen?
It's going to be awkward one way or the other.
Not bring that up.
If they bring it up, I feel like he'll have a prepared statement or something like that. Because also legally, he probably has to watch what he says. There's probably some investigation. So
I'm just saying there's going to be some jokes. I hope there's going to be some jokes. Anyway, I also thought today that's kind of cool that like all of these late night talk show hosts are all kind of friends, and because they constantly talk about like, hey, yeah, when you and I did this together, or when I was on your show, or when you were on my show, or when we did this event together, or whatever. It's like there's not like this. Remember maybe you don't. Maybe I'm the only old person that remembers the rivalry between Letterman and Leno.
I know of it. I know of it. But
so it's just kind of cool to like see them all like kind of get along and whatnot. So it's really kind of cool. Anyway, that's it, Adam. I think that's the show. We can put a bow on that, and
I think we should go back to having to say the title of the previous show in the at the end, and then that just kicks off the music.
I mean, we could do that. We could next week is the live Pride 48 weekend, and maybe we could start season 2 of
season 2. Seasons.
Yeah. 2.0 or whatever. We can refresh the.
It's not going to be a whole Dubious Intent Plus situation. I tell you that because I don't want.
No, not change the name.
Not the Gay Mix Plus or Mix Mind. Although you kind of did change the name. Anyway,
we're gonna maybe redo the graphics, spruce up some of the theme songs, whatever. Yeah, all kind of stuff. Things that we do because we care about you, the listener. Send us an email, contact@mixminuspodcast.com. You can also send us a voicemail, 707-61-DEATH, or voicemail.mixminuspodcast.com. It's up to you now. There you go. 5 seconds.
Yeah.